The moment you decide to stop running your life on autopilot and start observing how your mind is running it, well, everything shifts. You go from being just an actor to being the director of your own mind. Hi, I am Fanek Hanjia, and you are watching day 8 of the 21-day Decode Your Mind challenge. I am so glad to have you here today, and even if it's the first time you're attending this session, welcome. If you're also coming back, if you're also coming back after 1 week, welcome also. And I would like to know, from which country are you watching this session from? Just put it in the comment. I would like to know. I am curious to know, where are you joining us? And already 1 week had passed. Last week, we've been discovering quite about our emotional patterns that keeps on repeating over time, and then we understood that they are not actually conscious, they are coming from a subconscious pattern that has been running our life for a long time now, and we just start slowly to notice them. And this is what we celebrated just yesterday, celebrating awareness, celebrating that way of noticing instead of just letting it go as it is. Because by now you should understand that change happens at the subconscious level, not with willpower, not consciously deciding, like, yes, I am going to do this. And the reason why you keep on repeating it is because you only rely on those willpower. That was awareness. Last week was only about awareness. You can even review each session below each link of each day. Now, this week, we are going to slowly understand how then our brain is creating those stories that we create about ourselves and about the world around us. So let's start the session by explaining to you how actually your mind creates meaning. And today's is about explaining why I will say that you're not upset about what happened. You are upset about what you decided it meant. Most of the time, we believe again that we are reacting to the situation that is happening right now. By now, by everything that we mentioned last time, you understood that it is a pattern that keeps on repeating. So how does this pattern get created? How does this meaning is happening? So let me start with a story. I love stories and I'm sure it can relate to you. Suppose today you send a message to one of your friend, or suppose 2 days ago your friend didn't answer to your message until now. So now we are 2 days after you sent that message. The question is, what do you think right now? What do you think right now? You can put it in the comment. What do you think the reason why your friend didn't send your message? Because I can tell you, you can choose between this answer if you don't have any idea. Maybe what will come to your mind first? If someone doesn't send you a message, do you think they are angry about something? Or maybe they are busy? Or maybe do you start to complain? Like, why are they doing that? Or maybe do you start blaming yourself? I know people are always leaving me. Or something else. If it is something else, just put D in the comment. If it is one of these answers, if it's they're angry, then put A. If you think they're busy, then put B. If you think that they did something wrong or you don't did something wrong, then put C. And finally, if it is something else, no relation, nothing related to what I mentioned, just put D. And what if I tell you that each one of us, 8 billion people around the world, we will have different answer to that question? Yes. Why? Because one person may face the same situation, no reply for 2 days. One person will say, oh no, they hate me. I knew it. I shouldn't have befriended them in the first place. Another person will say, ah, they are busy, as always. Ah, why do I even bother on that? Another person is like, I think they forgot to answer. Did I send it on the right time? And last person can say, ah, is she sick? Do I need to check on her? Do I need to check on them? You see? Same event, totally different way, totally different experience of a person who answers it. If any of this has happened to you, just type yes in the comment. Yes, it happened to me. Yes, I was already thinking about those stories. It's very interesting, right? How one event happened and you suddenly think, and different people are thinking in totally different way, completely different emotional experiences. One will be angry, one will be sad, one will be upset, one will be like worrying, one will not even bother. So we are going to understand why it is happening. So why it is happening? What we are going to do now is we are going to separate the fact from the story. The fact here is the friend didn't reply for 2 days. It's just a fact. It's just what it is, a neutral event. It's not either good, it's not also bad. But in the meantime, you created some story. Your mind was finding some story in between. Everything after the fact is all story that your mind is creating. And our mind is creating those story in a very fast way. It's in a fraction of a second. Every time you're thinking about that message, directly a story will come. And they are so fast, our mind, our brain, and our self, we can't even believe if it's true or not. We don't have time to think if it's true or not. We directly believe them. We directly trust that these are what is true. And the thing is, once we believe this is true, what will happen? Our body will react based on that story, not on the fact anymore. If you know that someone really don't care about you, you are not going to only react to my friend didn't reply. You are going to react my friend doesn't care about me anymore, because that is what's true to your mind. So our emotional response will be the same as the story we created. That's why two persons can be in the exact same situation. They can see two different perspectives. You can just do that experience. You may watch football right now. Right now, maybe, yes, anyway, the World Cup is here. Maybe you can watch with your friend the match together. But both of you will totally have different perspective. Mainly, not only because you have two different teams maybe that you support, but at the same time, you will see things differently. Even at home, when you watch the same movie, with your sibling, with your partner, with your parents, with anyone, with your friend or cousin or anyone. Sometimes after the movie, one person will cry and say like, oh, it was a very emotional movie. But another person will be like, what was that movie? It was so confusing. And another person may say, oh, I like how they both are like wearing beautiful dresses, like wearing matching dresses. And you all will think in different way based on the story you all created in our mind. And the thing is, do you know why our mind is doing that? Our mind is doing that because it can't just live with information. It has to provide a meaning to what is happening. So when an event happens, it comes to your mind, it creates a meaning, and then your emotion and your reaction comes. And the thing is, if any information is missing from a situation, your brain will not be able to stay put until there is some information it can get. For example, if I'm asking you to watch a movie and suddenly I cut it. Do you think you will like it? You'll feel that intensity come like, whoa, is going to happen next? That's why series are working because we put you in that drama, in that like expectation. What is happening? Because your brain literally can just stay without those information, without those missing pieces. So if it is not there in our day-to-day life, our brain will actually create them. Fascinating, right? It is going to do it naturally. This is a process we can't just stop. Like, okay, this situation happened, I'm going to stop my brain from creating stories. No, that's how your brain is surviving everything that is happening around you. You can't just tell it to stop creating meaning. The thing is, you always know how it ends. You always need to know what is happening to avoid things, to make sure that you react at the right time. So, the thing is, suppose we'll take the example of your friend is not answering you. Your friend is not answering your message. The thing is, what it is going to do is your friend just didn't reply. That is a fact. Then in your mind, the story which will be created is they don't care about me. I knew they don't love me anyway. Why should I even start in being friends with them? And then a lot of story will come, and then your emotion will you will feel hurt. And what will happen is you will stop talking to them. And over time, what will happen? Your relationship will be destroyed. And let me ask you something. Was it destroyed because they really actually didn't care? Or because of a story you created in your mind? Right now, for you, maybe it's not about a friend that forgot to send a message, that forgot to answer to you. Sometimes you are working, doing your job, and it's in the morning, so usually people will say hi, right? Or maybe someone at least will smile at you and then nod. But there was maybe one day when everyone just passed through you. Maybe your manager passed, they didn't say hi, good morning, just go through, shoo. And then what happened? Do you think your mind will stay there and say, ah, the boss just went there and that's it? Your mind will create a meaning. Oh, what happened? Do I have some problem? Maybe why the boss is just ignoring me? Did I do something wrong? Is there something that he's afraid to tell me? Hmm. Same thing happened. Even maybe when you go home and then at home you say, good evening, everyone, I'm back. No answer. Maybe everyone is busy. Suppose everyone is busy. Maybe you also created that meaning like, yeah, everyone should be busy. But maybe you are already tired and you expect everyone to welcome you happily and say, like, hi, how are you? How was your day? One day, no one answered. No one asked anything. What is the meaning your brain is going to bring, to build because of that situation? You can tell me in the comment if you want to. What meaning is your mind creating based on that situation? Because your brain has been doing that for a long time, it is wired for that. And it's happening in our day to day life. The thing is, sometimes, yes, I can see some answers are there. Sometimes it is correct. Because as I mentioned, we can't just stop our brain from creating meanings, from creating stories. So, yes, does it mean that all the meaning you create are wrong? No. Sometimes some meanings are actually true. For example, you see someone rushing past through you, then they just bumped into you on the street. What will happen? You'll say, oh, they are rushing. Ah, hopefully I am not, I am happy I'm not rushing. Oh, they are rushing. That's it. And it's true because you didn't create any story. Yeah, there was a story, they are rushing. But maybe one day you are already angry, someone bumped into you, and then, why you don't care about me? Why you don't look about people? Then you get angry because your mind already created everyone is always against me. So it depends on the story that is inside of you. And yes, it can be true. But because every story appears quickly, your brain doesn't have time to check if it's true or not. So what we need to do here is not only assuming what happened. So, when that happens, then at least you start to discover that everything in life is just a battle between what actually happened and what your mind decided what it means. And it's all inside your mind, it's all happening inside your mind. And yes, that's how we react in our day to day life. One day, maybe, suppose, at home, one person just said, "This house is not clean at all. I am only the one who is clean in here." All right? Someone just said that. Then you say, "Why that person is always blaming me for not cleaning? Everyone is here, so why they are blaming me?" But if you look back at the fact, who did they mention was not cleaning? No one, right? They didn't precise. And even if they precise, also say like, "Why you're always telling me that? Why you keep on repeating the same thing?" Because your mind already created a meaning. Same thing happened at work. The boss is giving a feedback. All team members are here. One team member say, "Oh yes, the boss wants me to improve. Yes, I'm going to improve it." But another person may think, "What nonsense is the boss telling? I did all the work alone. Why is he giving me those feedback? I don't deserve those feedback. I did my best." And yet also, another one will also say, "Oh no, I knew it. I was not doing something wrong. I am always a problem in this team. I think they're going to fire me soon." Same situation, different interpretation. And the thing is, what are we going to do after will depend on that. For example, if that person, your friend, didn't send a message for 2 days and you feel like they are not liking you anymore, then you ended up not talking to them anymore. Consequences. If a manager is giving you feedback and you ended up believing that, no, maybe I will be fired, what happens is every time you see that manager, you will always think about, "I will be fired," or like, "They are always judging me, they are always judging me." So whatever you do will only be on that. So the event never changed. Every event, the fact never changed. So let this be your today's reflection. That fact is just information, but the stories are the one that creates emotions. And now you know that we've been spending a lot of years reacting to stories that sometimes didn't even happen, that we all created. And that you don't have to stop creating stories, you simply need to become aware that sometimes your interpretation is wrong, or at least cross check with the fact, with what actually happened, if it is true or not. That realization itself gives you enough space to pause each time and to ask yourself, am I creating stories right now? Or am I just having a real fact of what happened? And that's how you start thinking differently and reacting in everything that is happening around you in a different way. Don't lose that chance. Sometimes we miss a lot of opportunities thinking, "Oh, it's not for me anymore." Yeah, we have customer, we have client. We call them and they said, "Yes, I'll call you back." And then we think, "Oh, when they say that, it means they don't like my product anymore." And then we stopped following up. We missed an opportunity. Maybe they were actually busy. And then we didn't call back, so they forgot about it. Not because we didn't like the product, but because we missed the meaning, the real event that happened. So, today's reflection for you is to think about one event that happened in your life. Yes, think about one event and write only the fact. I will give you an example to make sure. For example, today you were sitting on your desk, working properly, And then suddenly everyone is going for lunch and they forgot to call you to go for lunch. You are busy, okay? So they are going for lunch. And then what was the fact? What was the event itself? That is the exercise you're going to do. The fact was they went for lunch and I was busy. Forget about all the story that comes after. Maybe you'll say like, oh, they didn't think about me anymore. Oh, they don't like me they don't care about me anymore. Oh, what is going to happen now? Well, that is just the stories. I want you to write only the fact. So I will leave you today with that reflection. And so that's it about day 8. Today you understood that most of the time we don't react to the real event, we react to the stories that we create. And we understood that not all interpretations are wrong, we just need to cross check every time. In the beginning, you'll feel like it's a bit confusing, or like you may feel overwhelmed, because now, instead of letting the brain decide what story to believe, you cross check it. You consciously choose to do that. Your brain will be like, what is happening? But that's how slowly, we change each story that we have. That was day 8. Thank you so much for staying with me for the past 21 minutes. And all the worksheet will be shared in the WhatsApp group. If you want to be a member of that WhatsApp group and have access to exclusive members only worksheet and invite to different event and also some perks is there, then you definitely need to join the group. The link is in the comment. You can join and you'll get all the benefit. We'll have Q&A sessions. We'll have different things that only those members will be able to access. And so, tomorrow we are going to dive deeper into why we say our brain is lying to you. Our brain is lying to you and try to find some stories. So we are going to define those different kind of story that may happen based on what I mentioned today. So it's again a continuation of what stories and what lies your brain are building based on the real event. Until then, stay focused and choose your next action. Be conscious about everything. Be intentional. Start to notice your patterns, your triggers, and everything in between. And so, remember, your brain is a complex but wonderful system. We are here in this Decode Your Mind challenge to dissecate it, to understand it piece by piece. As long as you have to choose, awareness is the first step. The second step is execution. So start today. Don't wait until tomorrow. You did the first step by attending this session itself, and you should be proud that you are here, open to discover more, to observe more your mind. Let's decode it together. So that was Fanek Hanjia on day 8 of Decode Your Mind challenge. See you tomorrow for day 9. Bye for now.